My truck's in the shop getting some work done, and they gave me this as a loaner until they got done doing some of the recalls on it. One was in the tailgate, one was in the exhaust, and a few other things. It's a 2020 F-250, but this is a powerboost F-150 Sport 4x4, and I've just drove it for about an hour or two, but pretty neat deal. I've never used one of these, nor has the truck that I had the onboard power unit in it, and so I'll show you guys that. I wanted to test that out, but I don't really have anything today to test it on, but it's got some really cool features on here. You got your two different plug sizes, as you can see in the bed there, but driving this thing is pretty fun. And the whole reason I'm making this video is because, one, this truck's fun to drive and it's kind of cool, but I've got this new draggy that I'm gonna start using for video purposes, and I wanted to do a few 0 to 60s and show you guys how fast this truck is compared to my Power Stroke and maybe the Wagoneer. But this is an XLT model, and it's pretty much got everything that you would get on a high-end truck, except for cooled seats with leather. But other than that, it's automated. It's got your lumbar support. You can move it back and forth just sitting in it. It's got heated seats. It does not have cooled, but it has a few cool features in it, and I'll show you guys that in a minute and kind of drive the truck, give you my opinion on it, and then you guys can let me know in the comments if you want to see anything else. But I'll show you the sticker too on this. So this truck here, like it is, you can see all the description of it. It's carbonized gray, black sport, 2023 F-150 Super Crew, 3.5 liter power boost, full hybrid, 10 speed. The price on it, here's all the amenities. $373 electronic locking axle. Ford co-pilot assist, power sliding rear window. You can see all that. Comes out to $65,690. So it's a slick deal. I was very impressed with driving it and just how it drove. Now, I did notice when I would sit and idle, sometimes it would kick in and out of the motor from the electricity. And it's super quiet without the motor running, and it's quiet in general, but without the motor running, I didn't even know it was started at one point. I pushed the button and I'm sitting there looking at it, and it's just barely humming. I've not drove a newer F-150 in a while, so this was all new to me, and it's just a neat truck. It likes this feature. Folds the console shifter up and down. All right, that's enough. Fold it back up so we can do some shifting. This is actually a really nice truck. I don't even know what year this is. I'm guessing it's 23. It's an XLT, but for an XLT, it's really nice. It's got powered seats forward and backwards. All the steering wheel controls. It's got the huge screen in it. I don't know what sound system's in this, but it doesn't have that much bass. It does have a lot of highs, which it has the door speakers up here and over there. But this screen is super nice. I really, really like it.
You see all these turnings?
So right now we're driving at like 10 to 15 mile an hour down this little crooked road. But I guess the electric part of the engine is so quiet when you're driving it that you can't hear the motor or anything like that, which is super nice because you can just creep around and not have any noise. Really a nice driving truck. What do you think, Wales?
Only that little.
Yeah, that little bitty noise.
Yeah.
But like if we're doing this here and we're running 15 mile an hour, we'll wait till we get up here to this little straightaway here and get on it a little bit and see how it does.
What?
got up to 50 mile an hour like nothing. Pretty wicked little truck. Look at that little dog.
I know.
Look at that little dog. What are you doing? You gonna catch a tire, buddy? You better get in there. Where'd he go? There he goes.
A
You
dog.
better stay in the yard. It does have a slight hesitation when you first get on it, which I think all Ford trucks do now. They've got such strong torque management on the first 2 or 3 gears that it just doesn't give you all the power when you want it. But I'm going to try some draggy 0 to 60s in quarter miles. I'll post up in this video with the traction control off and on. I did one earlier and it was in the low 6s. So we'll see if it gets any faster. So far, driving this thing, I absolutely love this screen. Compared to coming from a 2020, which this will be in my new Super Duty that I ordered, using this screen, I love how big it is. And then it also does wireless Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So you've got, you know, all the features and everything that's in here. And then you've got, that's probably going to make the YouTube video kick out. But anyway, you've got all your stuff on here that you can see, and then you can full screen either one of them that you want. So if you want the navigation bigger, or you want this to be bigger, you know how this goes over here, you've got this small screen for your navigation or whatever. You're doing 2 things at once. But then you can also put Android Auto on there, and you can, just like I've got this here, I've got this whole screen now as my map. So I can go to Android Auto if it's going to let me do it while I'm on the video. I'm not sure if it will or not. Let's see. Apple CarPlay. So all right, so it cut my video off during changing from Android Auto to this. But as you can see here, you can full screen your Android Auto, which is extremely nice to me. This little button here, you can push, and then you can have 2 of the separate things. So like over here, you can have navigation and this, or this over there, however you want to do it. It's just very, very fluid and seems to not be glitchy at all. I haven't had any issues with it. I've just been playing with it for about a day now in entirety, but I absolutely love how big that screen is. And then you've got up here, you've got your phone list, your weather. I don't know if you can touch those or not, so you can't touch those low. That doesn't work. I'm guessing you can just, okay, so you can hit the clock. You can connect to different Wi-Fi things in here, several different things. But this system is, to me, is a huge upgrade from a 2020. I haven't used the onboard power system yet to do anything, but you've got plugs up here, this here, and then back in the back, you've got them on the back of this console. And so over here's all your side lights and everything. Another perk to getting these vehicles as a rental or something, anytime they're new like this, they'll give you free Wi-Fi through AT&T for a week or a month or whatever. And so I just put in my profile, and because it's a new vehicle, they gave me free Wi-Fi. So that's a really cool feature that you get. So now we can run all our devices off the truck. I think you can run 10 or 15 devices off of it at one time. So just remember that if you get one of these for a rental or a loaner while they're doing something to your vehicle, you can get free Wi-Fi on it every time. Still rolling. We'll set the trip. All right. You like that? That jalapeno burger? It's good, isn't it? This 5-star here has jalapeno burgers. And then they put pepper jack cheese on top of it. Really good stuff if you like spicy. I wouldn't say it's even that spicy. It's just kind of average. But I like spicy stuff. You?
Film me while I'm eating.
You want me to film you while you're eating?
No, I don't.
Do you want to put it on your there?
Stop.
What, you little man? Alright. So anyway, let's just see what we're getting average on here. Alright, so let's set this cruise. And see, I've never used this, so let's see. I'm guessing you hit this. And then that sets your lane keeping assist on. We're running 64. Let's see how good it stays in the lane. Here in Kentucky, a lot of times the line, oh, I guess I gotta touch it. All right, there we go. So it's showing the lane centering. It's showing it in there. And up here, we don't have the best of lines, but here's a curve. Let's see how it does. See, there's no line over here, so I'm guessing it's gonna drift. No, it did it. Stayed right in there. And I'll just keep having to touch the steering wheel from time to time. Now, our Volvo XC90, it was a 17, and it had this on it, and we absolutely loved it. Our new Wagoneer doesn't have it. All right, it told me to touch the steering wheel there. I canceled it. So if it does it so many times, like you don't touch the steering wheel, it'll cancel it. So you still have to kind of tap on it a little bit to get it to stay driving. But it still has the assistance, so I'm guessing it'll just stop. Alright, so we're going to get on it around this truck up this hill. I'm an Eco. Let's just see. I'll flat foot it once we get to this area. Alright, here we go. Oh yeah, that thing got some pull. I mean, we're at 100 mile an hour almost right there. It's an Eco, and I mean, it didn't have any hesitation whatsoever. Most of the time in vehicles, if you've got in Eco mode and then you gun it, it's got a slight hesitation, but no hesitation there. It just pulled. Dropped my fuel mileage by a lot, but oh well. That's a normal driving for me. So we just hit the interstate, and we're cruising along at about 82 mile an hour. It's showing 21 mile per gallon, 3.3 electric miles. So I'm guessing we went 3.3 of that on electric miles. So far, I can't say I'm super impressed with the brakes on it. I don't know if it's just me or what, but it seems like the truck is always wanting to go. Even in Eco, the brakes on it, they work well, but it's just like you've got to really give them a good press to get the effect that I like. But it doesn't seem that they're as strong as they need to be for the way the transmission and stuff set up. Like I said, maybe that's just me, but I'm gonna let my wife drive it, get her thoughts on it too. Now our Wagoneer, it's got super impressive brakes. I really enjoy the brakes on it, and you don't have to jam them to the floor, and they stop smoothly. I don't know what size calipers are on this. Just my thoughts. We got to stop into old Dunky, get some coffee. We're huge Dunkin' fans. Hopefully none of you are Starbucks fans. This is American way. Just after driving this a few minutes, or at least down the interstate, probably 30 or 40 minutes. Here's the window sticker. Says fuel economy 23. So supposed to get city and highway, supposed to be 23. The gear ratio in this is 373, electronic locking rear axle. You can see the options here. It's running an 18-inch wheel. 275 65R tire. But just going down the highway, running 80, it was showing an average of about 20 miles to the gallon. I'm going to guess this vehicle is going to do better in the city than it would on the highway based off the hybrid system, but I could be wrong. But I was getting 19 something goofing around town, not even trying to get good fuel mileage. And now I'm running eco, and I've been getting out on the highway, and it just was showing, see if I can get it back up here, 20.1. So we'll see how it does once we get a little bit further. We've got roughly 95 more miles till we get to our destination. You think they're the same?
Yes.
Got a big Can-Am dealer over here. Look at all them fun toys. So this is pretty cool. It shows your power delivery and how it's working in the truck. And if you're going slow and you're just on electric, you can see that the battery is powering the two back wheels, and there's no power coming from the front motor. And then if you get on it, it will change and show power coming from the drive shaft. So it's a pretty slick deal. You can see it's regenerative braking now, so you can tell when you're replenishing your battery. You like that pumpkin?
I do. That's good.
Knock your socks off good?
Yeah.
So I got a iced coffee with 2 pumpkins and 3 whole milk, and it's like a pumpkin explosion for your taste buds. And she got 3, so I couldn't even imagine how it is. She says it'll knock your socks off too. Look at this massive American flag at Camping World. Go Camping World. Thing's huge. So right now we're getting 20.6 miles to the gallon, and let's see how far we've gone. Almost 90 miles and averaging 20.6. The electric miles is 4.8 miles of that trip that we've been on electricity. I've noticed that this thing, it stays in 10th almost all the time, unless you're just really, really creeping. But it wants to get up in the gears just like a diesel truck does. But my truck, even at 80 mile an hour, it's got 331s in it. It's a 10-speed diesel. It runs at about 14 to 1600 RPM, where this one's running at about 2100 to stay at 80 to 82 mile an hour. All right, so we're about to take back off from Nashville, and we're at 20.5 miles per gallon, 160 miles total, 7.2 electric miles. Let's see what we get on the way home. So what do you think about the truck driving it? You like it?
It's smooth.
Smooth?
Yeah.
What do you feel about the brakes? How do you feel about the brakes on it?
Touchy.
You think they're touchy?
Yeah, they're like, you barely have to, I don't know,
See, I felt polar opposite about it. I felt like they were kind of,
laggy.
yeah. You feel like they're real touchy?
No, honey, yeah. I thought they were touchy, feeling what I was doing and stuff, but I like the truck.
Yeah. It's nice for an XLT, ain't it?
It's small to me, like driving a car.
Yeah. Probably feels about like your Wagoneer coming from my
Maybe
truck.
smaller, yeah.
Yeah, it could be. Have you used the Blue Cruise yet? Or
I don't know which buttons to push.
so to set it, you're gonna push. You set your speed. You got it 80 mile per hour, and so now you should be able to let go.
Set my lane
you should be able to let go of the steering wheel, and it should.
That makes me too nervous.
No, just let it go. See, yeah. See, it's centering. It'll tell you to put your hand on the steering wheel.
You know, I noticed it told me that a few times when my hands were on the steering wheel.
Right. It wants pressure. It wants that
I
haptic
don't-
feedback.
I don't like that because I was just like resting them.
Right.
It wanted me to like.
It almost wants you to fight it from time to time just to know that it's someone's reels on it. Right now, on this trip, we went 202 miles. We've used 9.5 electric miles, and we're getting 20.6 miles per gallon. So I hate to give this truck back. It was nice to drive, but we ended up meeting at the dealer to swap my truck back out. Let's see what we ended up with. Well, my goodness. So we ended up with 20.7 on 291.3 miles, 10.9 miles of electric. There's the drive time out of it. Really a nice truck. Like I said, for an XLT, this thing's loaded out to the gills. Really nice looking too. My final thoughts are, if I was gonna buy one of these trucks, I would get the Power Boost edition. I really like the power delivery on it, and I love having the bed power boxes and stuff that you can run just about anything you could think of. And then you could also use this to run your house if you had to. The only other thing is I didn't see a wireless charger in this XLT. Maybe I'm just missing it, but other than that, this thing is absolutely nice. But anyway, hopes that helps you guys. I did some draggies, but I couldn't get the video to work, and it would run anywhere between 6 and 6.5 seconds, 0 to 60, just pulling out and gunning it. No four-wheel drive launches or anything like that. And seems to get okay fuel mileage, decent for a truck. Back in my truck, and I wanted to tell you guys, I had a bunch of recalls on my truck, and that was the whole reason for them giving me the loaner vehicle, because I had a bunch of different things that I needed done. One of them was a wiper blade recall, and so they replaced the arms on the wiper blade. I'm not really sure what or why that was needed. And then the other was in the tailgate. Something about the tailgate automatically dropping by itself. Not really sure. I haven't never had mine do that. And then the third was the control module in the PCM. They had to change it out, and that's what it is right there. I went ahead and have them put front brakes on. I've got 40,000 miles, and mine was already squealing. I don't know how long they're supposed to last, but I don't tow very much, in my opinion. So it didn't seem like they lasted too long, so I'm guessing they use a really, really soft pad. I put ceramic on it. This place charged me $125 to put brakes on it. I bought the brakes, of course, but I didn't want OEM ones again. And here's the fix that changes when they do the recall. I miss that huge screen already in that other truck, but I'm glad to be back in my truck. I missed it a little bit. The other truck's really nice, but it's hard to get away from a power stroke.
You're videoing.
60.